How do甲ninja know each other without ever seeing each other before? Now Chosonninja said, well, crest, he wrote. According to other ninja scrolls, you should never carry crests around to identify where you're from. But I find it totally bizarre that somebody will be walking along at night, there's another man they've never seen, and the first thing they do is get out a shuriken. So I'm not having a go at Greg here, but I find it weird that somebody would get out a shuriken to show them, or like, look, it's like somebody draws a weapon at night, or in the dark roads, or in the day. No. So the answer, right, the answer comes from another ninja scroll. I'll do a video on this one because it's longer. But it turns out that another ninja actually comments on甲and Iiga's school and says the way they know each other without ever met or being family is by the glare of their torch, how the torch looks. Now, if you don't know, ninjas had a massive curriculum on torch and fire, and he says that two甲or Iiga ninjas would see each other, identify the way the torch, or the torch itself, and we can only presume that's how it burns. So that's how they would know each other, by the torchlight. Because remember, these torches were filled with gunpowder, pine resin, there's loads of different recipes. If the recipe was correct, they'd know which school they were from. Question number 2. Now, I'm sorry, Choson's Ninja's curriculum here totally falls down. This is where, and to cut down on time, go and see Scott Dean's new video. It's not insulting in any way, it just shows all the ways you can see this tool. I asked him what this tool was. It's actually like a form of pick, like a form of drill. They call it a drill, but it's not an actual drill, but it's for scoring through walls and things like that. Now, this is where, as I said, the Chosen Ninja curriculum falls down, because on the picture that Greg Park did, there's an arrow to this tool that says no attachment. The reason I've picked this is because it's so popular that everybody would know what it was if you were a ninja. And 2, it doesn't matter what school you're from, you need something else to go with it. That something else is a form of natural grease that is constructed out of certain materials that the recipe is given for. Because when you're drilling through the wall, it starts squeaking. If you're going through wood, you can go through clay. So what you have to do is you have to heat up some grease. Now, I don't know if you heat it up and put it on, or put it on and then heat it up, but as they're going, the grease makes it quiet so you can bore through the wall quiet. Every shinobi would have known this, but Chosen Ninja's curriculum actively says nothing comes with this, which means it must be research based. So now, I said when on a night attack or raid, now to a camp. Greg goes on to talk about castles or camps, so he does make a difference between castle or camp. I just want to say that. And I said camp, so he says castle or camp. Anyway, so the list of things you should have is the correct identifying marks. They tie identifying marks on them. They would have the correct passwords, which would be double passwords for the enemy. They would also have correct signals like touching their ear or things like that. This is because in the dark you don't know who's on whose side. So on the opposite side there's ambush shinobi. These are shinobi who lie in wait to kill anyone. Now, if you're running through, you need to have found out off another shinobi what all these passwords were, so you can get in and smash. And it's such a mayhem of night fighting and smashing that the idea of a shinobi was, in a raid, to get into the other camp pretending to be on the other side. So they would have to know the signals, the passwords, have the correct identifying marks, but above that, they needed the correct underwear. Because when you stripped, some people would even have samurai wearing certain material so that they knew who would just infiltrate. Because remember, it's hired mercenaries. It's not all honor code, and there's loads of mercenaries. So you send them out on a night raid, and when they come back, it's probably got about 10 shinobi in it from the other side. So no, it's not blueprints, it's not castles, but let's just say Greg may have been misunderstood there. So leading us on to question 4, as it was a lead on from the last question, Greg again was misunderstood. He said, I said camp, and I also said attacking, a night raid. So I said night raid and attacking, and Chosen Ninja's curriculum was a holy man. Send a holy man in a night raid. I think there's probably a bit of misunderstanding there, I don't know. The answer is, what happens is, the process is you'd have 2 sides, and they'd have ambush shinobi. They'd also have their own raid shinobi. And what you would do is they'd fight, they'd get in a big fight, and the idea is you cross to the other side, turn around, fight your own men, and then retreat as they retreat. And you have the passwords, the signals, the underwear, everything. Get past their shinobi, in you go, into the camp, and you're a mercenary. Nobody knows your face because everybody's hired, or a certain percentage are hired. That's the process. Okay, when dressed as a samurai, right? When dressed as a samurai, what should you pay attention to being Yoni? Greg says the crests. Now, the crest, you couldn't be wearing a crest of someone that was their crest, because you're not from their family. How would you be wearing their crest? You have to wear a crest of somebody that's plausible to be there. So did Chosen Ninja's curriculum mean this, or did it not? Unknown. But in reality, the real answer to the question is haircut. You have to know the way that the samurai shave their head, because every single different area had different ways to shave hairlines. They had slightly different nuances that they could tell you from another area, just because of regional variances. So you'd have to check first, before you disguise as a samurai, what their variance was. Also the way the sword is made up, things like the way it's tied on. They're all different variations in different provinces. So that's what you'd do. Okay, number 6, what is between the watchfires of the castle? Right, this was really confusing, because this, again, Chosen Ninja's curriculum doesn't seem to add up here. He presumes it's near the actual main gates. For those who don't know, outside the Japanese castle they had a network. It wasn't the castle walls with the end. They had a network of fires, people, men, to stop you getting anywhere near the castle. Yeah, that's what they had. So I'm talking well outside. And between, they had fires in rows. Yeah, and I'm talking meters and meters apart, where it's really dark in the centre. So what they would do is they would dig a small shallow pit, put gravel in it, and then rake the gravel across. So if a shinobi came across, he couldn't hide his footsteps because he had nothing to rake it with. So you know there's a shinobi in there, and you know if he's come back, but he would not know what's under his feet because it's so dark. So that's what's there. But of course Chosen Ninja goes on about other things that really don't match the question. Number 7, if you hear a shot from a castle wall, what should a shinobi do? Now, Chosen Ninja actually went a bit around the houses here by saying, oh, I would retreat, I would come back, depending on what the shot was. Yeah, I admit you could then take in that, but he did say if it was a shot that was not from his side, he would retreat. Then he said if it was a shot that was arranged, he would do whatever the arrangement was. So the answer there was, if it's a shot, he would retreat. Now, I got this from another manual where it talks about telling soldiers not to shoot at night, because if they shoot at night it disturbs the birds, and when birds are disturbed, shinobi will attack. So the Chosen Ninja curriculum is the reverse. It's the total wrong answer there. So, but how interesting is that? Shoot at night, birds go, shinobi come in, because otherwise they disturb the birds. So they wait for such things to disturb birds. Number 8, okay, Greg, this is to you, Greg. Yes, it does look like a loaf of bread, but I didn't draw it. It was drawn by a shinobi, apparently. It's from a historical manual, so it's actually not bread, and it's not a chest. It is a landmine. So, as you didn't answer that one or didn't recognise what it was, I'll just have to leave that there. But for those who didn't know, that loaf of bread is a landmine, and let's all have toast. But I agree with you, Greg, it does look like a loaf of bread. Average night patrol goes past. Yeah. What is in the middle between night patrols? Now, Chosen Ninja curriculum here actually says something that is not incorrect, but it's not correct in this context. It says there's clappers. There are clappers, but that's not to do with what's in between the night patrol. They don't come in between the night patrol. I said what physically comes in between the night patrol, and it's not clappers, but they exist. So what it's another set of people who are doing something that translates as detection methods of the shinobi, or shinobi detecting methods. And this is a group of people who go around. So the night patrol goes past, just normally looking for people. This next patrol, they're not a patrol, they're a group of searchers who go around in between the patrols, and they search everything from basements, castle walls, eaves. They go everywhere and anything a ninja could be. Now, if you didn't know this, it's totally fundamental to infiltrating. You're not waiting for the guards to go past. You want to go past just after the guards. You want to miss the search party just after. And that comes in between the guards as they go along. And they do it a certain amount of numbers per night. So it's very important for a shinobi to know that. Okay, question 10. What is the relationship between Lord and his shinobi? How many people are involved and what's the situation? Now, Chosen Ninja talks about kunoichi, and it talks about secret letters and that. The answer is really simple. The answer is you knock on his door and talk to him, because you're his retainer. Everybody's got this secret idea that you hide as a ninja, I'm not taking the mickey here of you, Greg. I'm talking about everybody in the world. They think you hide as a ninja in the wall and your lord gives you a secret letter and you walk away. It's not like that. You go up, knock on his door and say, excuse me, and you talk to him. Because you're his retainer. In the Sengoku period, you are of the samurai class. You are at least Ashigaru, and you are his personal retainer. How many people know? No one. Just you and him. Anybody who is found out to know this information or overhears it is immediately executed without any trial or reason, just because they know you're the shinobi. You are a samurai, and you're hiding with your mate samurai. None of them know you're shinobi. The Lord just calls you and says, I want to have a word with you. You're shinobi, that's it. There's no secret meeting place and things like that. This is a common mistake, and this is what I'm trying to fight against, is the misunderstanding in the world of what ninja versus samurai. The ninja were samurai, they were part of the samurai class.